Everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to our second episode of the Tuesday Night Raw brand in our WWE 2K16 Universe mode. Now, if you've not seen last week's episode, I do suggest you watch that one first because we did crown all of our brand new champions. There will be a link to the playlist in the description below. Also in that playlist, you can find a link to the video where we drafted all our wrestlers across our 4 different brands as well. But tonight, we've got some pretty good matches on the card for you, and as you can see, the first one is definitely a match we're going to be watching. It's Daniel Bryan taking on the European champion, Owen Hart. Of course, Owen Hart won that 4-man ladder match last week to become the European champion, and Daniel Bryan gets an opportunity to go against him here this evening. Match number 2, we're going to see Nia Jax taking on Asuka. Then we've got Ricky Steamboat taking on Randy Savage. We've got a tag team match as the Enforcers take on the Hardy Boys. We've got Sami Zayn taking on Cesaro. We've got a triple threat between Mankind, Bret Hart and Andre the Giant. And the main event is going to be John Cena taking on Roman Reigns. So, as normal, we're gonna sim 4 of the matches and watch 3 of them. We're going to sim this one. And Mankind picked up a massive victory there against Bret Hart. That's going to do him a load of good, that is. We're going to sim the tag team match as the Hardy Boys pick up the win over the Enforcers. Again, a very important win there for the Hardy Boys. That could give them a potential championship shot in the future. Now, what also? I think we're going to skip Nia Jax versus Asuka, and Asuka picked up the victory. We'll definitely watch that, and I think we shall skip. So you do is skip Steamboat Savage. We're going to skip Steamboat versus Savage. Ricky Steamboat's frustration is growing after losing to Randy Savage. Steamboat is now on a cold streak. That's 2 losses in 2 weeks for him. And Savage is on a momentum boost and a hot streak as well. So, really doing well for Savage, this little feud. Really doing well. Now, the 3 matches we've got left to watch, of course, Daniel Bryan versus Owen Hart, Sami Zayn versus Cesaro, and John Cena versus Roman Reigns. So let's get straight into our first one. And here is confirmation of that match, of course. It's Daniel Bryan who lost in the championship match last week against Roman Reigns, taking on Owen Hart, who won that 4-man ladder match against, so good my memory is now, Edge, Jeff Hardy, and Christopher Gillard. So a great chance here for Daniel Bryan to pick himself back up, and a great chance for Owen Hart to continue the momentum he built last week from winning that championship match. So this is going to be a really interesting one, because should Daniel Bryan win here against Owen Hart, you'd have to fancy Daniel Bryan to get a European Championship match somewhere down the line, maybe at our first pay-per-view Extreme Rules coming up in a few weeks' time. And here we go, we are in San Antonio, Texas. I'm just making sure I know who wins all the matches, there we go. And here comes Daniel Bryan. Like I said, yeah, he had the opportunity last week against Roman Reigns in the main event to become the first Raw champion. Was unfortunately defeated by Roman Reigns in that match. Of course, Reigns... I'm surprised. That was a match that the computer booked for us, and we just put the championship in there. I thought Daniel Bryan would come out on top of that one as a winner. I really did. And now the game has also made the match between Cena and Reigns, which I decided to keep as well. There's the sirens going loud past my window again. So yeah, I think the Cena versus Reigns, once again, that's an interesting one, because should Cena defeat Reigns, then you'd have to make Cena the #1 contender for the Raw Championship as well. Like I said before in a few of my other videos, when it comes into next month, maybe after we've got all of our first set of pay-per-views out the way, we will be looking at bringing in an Undisputed Championship as well, where any of the 4 brand champions can challenge for the Undisputed Championship. And that is basically the championship of WWE in general. So whoever holds that belt will be a double champion, which would be great for them. And of course, only brand champions qualify to challenge for it. So should you lose the brand championship, you will also lose the Undisputed Championship as well. I think I'm still trying to iron that one out a little bit, but yeah, I think if somebody challenges you for your brand championship, they're also challenging you for the Undisputed Championship as well. And there is Owen Hart, of course, with that European Championship we won last week in a really good match. And I was the computer actually booked this match, Daniel Bryan versus Owen Hart. I saw it when I came through from Nitro onto Raw, and I saw it and thought, you know what, we've got to keep that match. We have to. It's just got This has got money written all over it, this match. And we've not seen a lot of Bret Hart so far. Of course, he's had his match on this episode in that triple threat that we simmed. We might have to use him a bit more coming up. And yeah, we'll have to have a look around, because at the moment I'm sort of quite aware that we're using a lot of the more up-to-date stars, and maybe not so many of the retro ones on this roster, but we're giving him a chance. Who knows, if Reigns beats Cena, that's going to leave things wide open in the championship picture as well, so maybe we can have a look at putting a different sort of number one contendership together. But like I say, should Daniel Bryan win here against Owen Hart, I would potentially put Daniel Bryan as the number one contender for the European Championship for a match maybe coming up at our Extreme Rules pay-per-view in a few weeks' time. Of course, our very first pay-per-view is going to be coming up this weekend, and that is going to be the Nitro and Thunder pay-per-view, or Fully Loaded. So we've already got a few matches lined up for that one. One that's definitely worth a watch is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Kevin Owens for the Nitro Championship. Oh, God. That's going to be insane, that match. Yeah, also got Blake and Murphy taking on the Primetime Plays for the Nitro Tag Team Championships. And I believe... what else did we do? We did the Television Championship. Who do we... who is it? It's Hideo Itami who's going to take on Neville for the Television Championship as well. So that's 3 cracking matches that Nitro put on. We'll have to wait until tomorrow night to find out exactly what Thunder has got planned. I'm sure Bischoff will be... I'm sure he'll have some crazy matches up his sleeve. He always does. Punch there to the ribs there by Daniel Bryan. And now looking for a Northern Light suplex. Hits it beautifully. Doesn't try for the bridge and pin. Probably quite early in the match to go for that sort of thing, probably. And now the reverse DDT. As Owen Hart slowly gets back up to his feet, but he eats a right hand from Daniel Bryan. Now Bryan brings him out of the corner into the Tornado DDT. And yeah, I think Raw ended up with a lot of the more retro. I think we said a lot of this in the last episode. They did have quite a more retro wrestlers, and people like Andre the Giant, Bret Hart, The Rock, Mankind, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat. They've got the Legion of Doom. They've got Haku, Roddy Piper, Nation of Domination, Hart Foundation. So we've got a lot of retro stars on here as well. We have to try and use them to the best we can. Of course, there is the opportunity of doing some swaps with other brands, should 2 brands agree on that. And of course, there will be the brand steals at the pay-per-views as well. Now, one person that Nitro is definitely looking at is Alexa Bliss, because it would really help Blake and Murphy out to have that manager at ringside with them. So we're looking to trying to come up with some sort of trade that works out well for both brands. I think Alexa Bliss might struggle on this roster. She's a good wrestler, Alexa Bliss, but when you've got Tamina Snuka, Nia Jax, Asuka, Becky Lynch and Charlotte on the roster, I think Alexa Bliss is going to struggle on this one. Daniel Bryan comes in with that running dropkick to the corner on Owen Hart, but Owen's back up and Bryan catches him. Looking for a Regalplex. And hits it. He went straight over the top. Instead of bridging, he threw him straight over the top. Much more painful way of doing it. Bryan now bringing Owen Hart into the middle of the ring and hooking the arms. We've seen this before. It's a butterfly suplex, and Daniel Bryan dominating this match here. Owen Hart struggling. Bryan bringing Hart back up to his feet. Into the corner he goes. But Owen Hart comes out with our back elbow and went for that running kick, but Daniel Bryan avoids it. And Daniel Bryan with that almost a combination neckbreaker suplex at the same time. Just launching Owen Hart across the ring by his neck, and now going in for the pin. 1, 2. Oh, close to a 3 count already. Owen Hart showing he's taken quite a bit of damage in this one. And Daniel Bryan looking to take full advantage. Some big elbows across the chest, now bringing Owen Hart back up to his feet, and a kick to the leg, and now Owen Hart's in a very dangerous position, taking kicks to the chest. We know how it ends. There it is, the big kick to the side of the head. Daniel Bryan rolling Owen Hart over. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2. Oh, and Owen Hart actually kicked out quicker than what he did beforehand. Maybe those kicks put some sense back into him. Daniel Bryan now mid of the ring. Underhook suplex. Now Daniel Bryan lining up. Owen Hart, what's he got planned here? Locking in that crossface submission. The label lock. Of course, submissions are not great on this game, so I can't imagine this is going to be the end of this one yet. It's not. Owen Hart breaks free and catches Daniel Bryan straight away and locks him into a butterfly suplex of his own. Very well hit that one as well. Owen bringing Daniel Bryan back up to his feet. Tried taking him up on his shoulder, but Daniel Bryan slides at the back and reverses it into a reverse DDT. Now pulling Owen Hart into the middle of the ring. Bryan in with the pin. 1, 2. It's only enough for a 2 count. Thought we had one there. Big kick to the back by Daniel Bryan. Owen Hart taking Bryan over. Now just wrenching back of that arm. Very painful move. Can Bryan break free from this one? Clever move this by Owen Hart, just slowing the pace of the match down, taking full control and allowing himself to rebuild a little bit of energy, a little bit of composure, while trying to obviously put the extra pain into the arm of Daniel Bryan, and by doing that it can also weaken the attempts of the label lock future on. But Bryan's back in this one now, sending Owen Hart into the corner, but Hart comes back with that back elbow and then a running kick as well. Owen Hart takes Daniel Bryan up, he's got him lined up, and there's the sit out tombstone power driver, and that could be all. The European champion. Whoa, Daniel Bryan absolutely insane there, just skipping back up to his feet like nothing had happened. Very Undertaker-esque there by Daniel Bryan, but Owen Hart takes him back down again. Boot to the gut and now locks him into the front chancery, and Owen Hart can't believe he hit his sit-out tombstone power driver, and Daniel Bryan out of nowhere straight back into this match and now could win it there himself, but Owen Hart kicked out after a 2 count. Both guys slowly back up to their feet. And Daniel Bryan sending Owen Hart into the corner. A clothesline as well now. Spins Owen Hart round. What's Daniel Bryan got planned here? Looks like he's going to go for another tornado DDT and hits it. And now Daniel Bryan going up top. Or is he? Oh, he's going over the top. Now he's going up top, but Owen Hart, I think Daniel Bryan took a little bit too long, and Owen Hart now slowly getting back up to his feet, and Daniel Bryan thinks better of it. Brings Owen Hart into the middle of the ring, up onto his shoulders. A very old-fashioned aeroplane spin now by Daniel Bryan. Dropping Owen Hart down. Is he thinking once again about potentially going for that diving headbutt? He is. The man's had many a concussion in his career, and the fact he goes for diving headbutts like this does not help the situation, but oh no, he's going for an elbow drop. There's me trying to think what's going to happen, and he goes for an elbow drop and completely plays it differently, and oh, Owen Hart does manage to kick out just in time. And Daniel Bryan looking to continue the assault. As Owen Hart in the front chancery now into a gutbuster. Daniel Bryan looking to line Owen Hart up once again. Is he looking for another label lock? Potentially he is. Second time it's locked in. More potential of potentially tapping out. But again, he needs to lock it in like 3 or 4 times in a match to really get the full effect, I think. It's not going to be enough. And Owen Hart catches Daniel Bryan straight away into a German suplex. And now Owen Hart lining Daniel Bryan up. I'll tell you what, if our European champion Owen Hart can get a victory here over Bryan, he's look for the sharpshooter, but Bryan is so close to the ropes, it's a bit pointless really. Can Bryan just reach out and grab that bottom rope? I think the camera angle was quite deceiving. It wasn't as close as we first thought. If Owen Hart had just gone for the tombstone there, he would have had this match won. Goes in for the pin now. 1, 2. Only enough for a 2 count. Like I said, if Owen Hart had gone for the if he'd gone for the tombstone rather than the sharpshooter, this match will be over right now. Owen Hart sending Daniel Bryan into the corner. And back up onto the top he goes. What's Owen got planned here? Oh, but Bryan fights through that back elbow. And a big drop kick. Right to the face of Owen Hart, that one. And now Bryan's gone up top again. And again, Owen Hart sees it coming and slowly crawls away. Clever move by Owen Hart. Great ring awareness. As Daniel Bryan catches him with that uppercut. And now suplex as well. And now Daniel Bryan once again going up high. And again go for the elbow drop. In for the pin. 1, 2. And again, it's only a 2 count. Incredible matchup between these two. Daniel Bryan sending Owen Hart into the corner. Now looks to take him up onto the top as well. We've seen Daniel Bryan in the past use that super butterfly suplex, but he's not going to get a chance here. Owen Hart kicks him away in a drop kick. And now Owen Hart in control of this match once again, bringing Daniel Bryan back up to his feet. Tries to take him up his shoulder once again, and again Bryan slides at the back and kicks the back of the leg, and now Bryan going to go for the aeroplane spin once again. The funny thing about hitting the aeroplane spin is once you finish, you hit a wasteland. It's quite a big move, the wasteland on its own, but the aeroplane spin just seems to make it not as effective. Oh, Daniel Bryan went for that kicking combination again by the looks of it, and Owen Hart have a kick of his own and a drop kick as well. Hart rolling Daniel Bryan over. Looks to be working on the legs, but Bryan managed to break free with a kick. There's the snapmare on Owen Hart, and is slowing the pace of the match down by just wrenching back of that arm and allowing Daniel Bryan to regain a little bit of energy. It's been quite a decent length match, this one. Both guys have really been going at it full force. But Owen Hart looks to break free, getting back up to his feet. There's the punch to the stomach of Daniel Bryan, and Owen Hart going to the outside. Daniel Bryan following him. And Bryan throwing Owen Hart back into the ring. Owen obviously trying to get a few seconds on the outside to build his momentum and build his energy back up, but Daniel Bryan wasn't going to give him any time whatsoever. Now bringing him back up to his feet, and here we go. The kicks to the chest by Daniel Bryan. And a big one to the side of the head, and that could be game, set, match here for Owen Hart. Daniel Bryan could pick up the win over the European champion. There's the pin. 1, 2, and what? Really? Owen Hart's kicked out. Owen Hart has just kicked out of this match. And Daniel Bryan straight away locking in the bell lock. It's incredible. 3rd time in the match. Potential tap out maybe? No. See, that just shows how difficult submissions are in this game. The fact that the AI has locked that submission in 3 times now, and every single time they've not managed to get the tap out victory. And if that's your finisher, it makes you so much to a disadvantage to someone who uses an impact finisher. Someone like Owen Hart, who uses that tombstone, is going to have a lot more chance of picking up a victory than Daniel Bryan with the submission hold. Though you can't take the submission hold away from Daniel Bryan. It'd be a bit of a waste, really, wouldn't it? It'd be a sad thing to do. Rake to the eyes there by Owen Hart. And Daniel Bryan with a DDT out of nowhere. Taking Owen Hart down now, bringing him back up to his feet. Went for them kicks again, but Owen Hart caught the leg. And now a Russian leg sweep. But I did say at the beginning of the episode, this was going to be a cracking match, and it has not disappointed whatsoever. I think this is one we might have to redo for our random match series, I think. Daniel Bryan now sending Owen Hart into the corner. And now looks to take him up onto that top turnbuckle as well. What has Bryan got planned here? The last time he tried this, Owen Hart kicked him away, and This time he has as well. And Owen Hart again. Oh, diving, spinning heel kick. Never seen that move on this game before. And this could be game, set, match. Owen, no. Daniel Bryan's reversed the tombstone. And he's hit it. Daniel Bryan hits the tombstone. He's going to go for a pin, Bryan. Why has he not gone for the pin? He would have had that match then. Oh, it straightens the front chokehold. The guillotine chokehold. And again, Daniel Bryan not able to pick up the victory with a submission. Daniel Bryan with that front chancery once again. Owen Hart now sending Daniel Bryan into the corner. I'm amazed this match is still going, I really am. Both these guys really giving it their all, and it looks like Owen Hart's got something else in mind. Draping Daniel Bryan off the top rope into that DDT. Waiting for the pin. 1, 2. And there you go. Owen Hart with that top draped DDT picks up a humongous victory here against Daniel Bryan. I really wasn't expecting that in this match. I really wasn't. But again, it just reinforces my point that submission guys on this game really do struggle. I wonder if Daniel Bryan had used an impact finisher last week against Roman Reigns rather than obviously the label lock, whether he may have picked up the victory and obviously walked away with the Raw Championship. But now that's 2 losses in 2 weeks for Daniel Bryan. He's going to be on a cold streak. That's going to affect him. It really is. And we'll have to find a way to try and boost him back up. And Owen Hart, 2 massive wins in 2 weeks. Wins the fatal 4-way ladder match to become the European champion. And then defeats probably one of the most talented guys on this entire roster in the shape of Daniel Bryan. Really shows just what sort of a wrestler Owen Hart is. And we're still perplexed of who's going to face Owen Hart for the European Championship at our first pay-per-view, of course, at Extreme Rules. And how can you move on from Daniel Bryan? You've got, like I say, one of the best wrestlers on the entire roster, and Daniel Bryan being defeated by Owen Hart. Who else is there? Who else can step up and have this opportunity against Owen Hart? That's the question I've got now. I'm looking at the roster. I'm sure we can find someone. At the moment, we've got Sami Zayn and Cesaro locked into a feud, and we've got Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage locked into a feud. Those are 4 guys I potentially would put against Owen Hart. I suppose we'll have to do some sort of number 1 contendership next week, maybe. Give a few people an opportunity and see who gets the nod. Who knows? But let's get into our next match. Oh, and here is the next match. Of course, it is the continuation of the rivalry that began last week. It's Sami Zayn versus Cesaro. Last week, it was Sami Zayn who picked up the victory. Let's see if Cesaro can get one back on him. Or can Sami Zayn continue with his dominance in this feud? And here he is, Sami Zayn. The man who everybody was worried last week after Monday Night Raw that he was legitimately injured. And got taken out of that fatal 4-way number 1 contendership match on purpose. But it was all a work. It's not a problem. Sami Zayn is not injured. From what I've read, he's in perfect condition. I think the injury wasn't to do with Kevin Owens putting him through the table as well. The injury was when they had the first sort of face-to-face confrontation, the 4 guys in the ring before the match was created. Sami Zayn took out Kevin Owens and dived over the top rope. And the camera didn't see it, but according to people in the crowd, Sami Zayn instantly got up, held his shoulder and ran to the back. But apparently there was nothing to that at all. Nothing to that at all. So there's no injury to Sami Zayn, which is absolutely great, because I really want to see the Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens feud really build up on the main roster, because it's been incredible on the indie scene. It was incredible on NXT. And I think on the main roster, it's only going to get better because it's going to get a lot more TV coverage. It's going to get massive pay-per-views. It's really going to be a hell of a feud between 2 of the top guys that WWE have got. Just think of what it's going to be like. Do you just think of what wrestling WWE is going to be like in 5 years' time? Can you imagine? At the moment, I know we're all a little bit lethargic to some of the quality of the matches and the shows and stuff like that. But can you imagine just in 5 years' time when you've got the younger guys from NXT all up on the main roster and some of the older WWE guys have probably moved on, and just the quality of the roster, you're going to have, obviously AJ Styles will be there, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. This is going to be your top guys in the WWE. I don't know whether the likes of Randy Orton and the likes of John Cena are still going to be there in 5 years' time. I know Orton's had a lot of issues with injuries over the past few years, so how long he's going to last. And for me, the future of WWE looks fantastic. I just can't wait for the future to happen. Of course, with Apollo Crews making his debut last week as well. A bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting Apollo Crews to turn up. I'm very happy he did turn up, but I was very disappointed the way they did it. That whole, oh, by the way, Apollo Crews is going to debut in a few minutes. That annoyed me that a bit, did it? But here we go either way. Now again, Sami Zayn is one of these guys that struggles a little bit because his finisher maneuver, or one of his finisher maneuvers on this game, is the Koji Clutch. So maybe we'll have to take that away from him and give him 2 impact finishers just to make sure he doesn't get a bum deal in some of these matches, because that could very much happen. Obviously, Cesaro uses the neutralizer. I don't know what Sami Zayn's other finisher is. I know he's got the Blue Thunder Bomb, but I think that could be a signature, and he's got the Helluva Kick, and I think that could be a signature as well. So I'm not quite sure what his actual finisher is. Maybe we could change it so the Blue Thunder Bomb is his finisher, because he seems to use that as a finisher now anyway. Sami Zayn's one of those sort of people that doesn't really have, like Cena, the only way Cena can finish a match is by the attitude adjustment normally, but when you've got guys like Sami Zayn that have got such a varied moveset, he can finish the match with so many cracking moves that you don't really know what his finisher maneuver is. The same with Cesaro. Cesaro will finish matches with the neutralizer, but he'll also finish matches with loads of other different types of moves as well. And I was so happy to see Cesaro come back last week at Raw. It was incredible. So happy to see him back. I don't know when Raw was actually... Is Raw on Friday nights? Or is it on Thursday nights? No, sorry, not Raw. Sorry, SmackDown. I haven't watched SmackDown in so long, but I really want to watch it this week because the Vaudevillains make their debut. I say this week. Obviously, I've recorded this ahead of time. So I really want to watch the one that's coming up for me in a couple of days' time. Which it might be on tonight, actually, then, because it's trending on Twitter, SmackDown. So there we go. But yeah, I really want to watch it because it's got the Vaudevillains debuting. And that's something I really want to see. Because I do like the Vaudevillains. I know that they were great when they first came into NXT, and I think a few people didn't really get it to start with, and I really liked it. They've got a little bit off the boil. I think the way they were written in NXT wasn't great. I think the problem with NXT was at some point is they just had so many tag teams that they were desperate to put over that the Vaudevillains sort of disappeared into the background a little bit, and I'm hoping that's not going to be the case full time. Of course, the Vaudevillains are on our Nitro roster. Hopefully going to give them more of an opportunity sooner, but of course they lost last week to Blake and Murphy, so they weren't on yesterday's episode of Nitro because we were trying to suss out our #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships. Of course, Blake and Murphy did win their second match in 2 weeks, so they're going on to face off against the Primetime Players at Fully Loaded this weekend for the Nitro Tag Team Championships. And this is a good feud. Now, the interesting thing, the difficult thing we're going to have to remember is both brands get 3 matches per pay-per-view. So Raw and SmackDown only get 3 matches per the pay-per-view. So, what are we going to do at our first pay-per-view? Are we going to defend 3 championships in our 3 matches? Or are we just going to defend the Raw Championship and we could have Sami Zayn versus Cesaro, then defend the Television Championship as well, and then leave the tag team and the women's, and we'll just defend them on Raw? It's difficult. I'm sure it will change every single month, but for me, I want to see these two fight it out at Extreme Rules. I think that'd be a really good match. Now, one thing I will have to take into account is, because these feuds can get very repetitive. Of course, last week was Cesaro versus Zayn. This week is Cesaro versus Zayn. I'm assuming the next 2 weeks are going to be Cesaro versus Zayn as well. So we probably won't watch the match every single week. We'll probably try and mix and match and try and get as many different people watched as possible. But I really want to watch this match here this evening. What are we going to do next week then? Well, next week we'll have to try and look at #1 contenders there for the Television Championship and for the Tag Team Championships as well. Maybe the Women's Championship, Asuka picked up a big win earlier against Nia Jax, so maybe another win for Asuka could really push her forward to becoming the #1 contender. We'll have to have a look at that. Cesaro looking potentially for a springboard? No. Changes his mind. Oh, and a great half and half suplex, I think that was. My mind went blank there on suplexes. So yeah, we'll have to have a look at, of course, the Raw Championship as well. Might depend on what happens in our main event here this evening between Roman Reigns and John Cena to see who the number one contender is. Should John Cena pick up the victory, then for me that would probably make him the number one contender. Should Roman Reigns pick up the victory, then again we're a little bit open. Big right hand by Cena. Cesaro, sorry, I had Cena on the mind. I know that's a massive insult. Cesaro hooking the arms of Sami Zayn. Super butterfly suplex. Big move. Looks to continue the damage there, but Sami Zayn with the arm drag. Snap now, just locking in that reverse chin lock. Now, the thing that's made me laugh a little bit with this game is that I purposely said I was going to... I was going to only watch 3 or 4 matches per show, just so we could speed the videos up and get more recorded and more uploaded. But I'm still only getting to the videos being like an hour long. And I think that's probably because obviously I am. That's obviously because I am watching the entrances and things like that now. So I think it will start to speed up as we go a bit longer as well. Sami Zayn up on top with Cesaro looking to give him a bit of his own treatment back with that super backdrop off the top. In for the pin goes Zayn. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count, but it was close to a 3. Very, very close to a 3, and Zayn missing the drop kick. Oh, and there's that big European uppercut. Is that going to be all? Cesaro struggling with energy. He needs to make the pin as quickly as he can. I think he's taking a bit too long there, you know. 1, 2. He did take too long. Cesaro can't believe it, but now Sami Zayn getting back up to his feet. Zayn sending Cesaro into the corner. Locks him into the Tree of Woe. And there's that backstabber from that top rope. Going in for the pin, Zayn. 1, 2. Oh, close to a 3 once again. Tell you what, Cesaro's struggling a bit here now. Well, both guys back up to the feet. Cesaro's actually up quicker than Zayn. But Zayn catches him with that boot to the gut into the front chancery. And an uppercut of his own, not quite as strong as Cesaro's though. Zayn sending Cesaro off that far rope into a hip toss. Zayn putting Cesaro into the middle of the ring, dropping a knee across the face. Zayn bringing Cesaro back up. Into the corner he goes, maybe setting up for the haluva kick. Turns him round. Or maybe not. No, he goes for the exploder suplex into the corner. Another one of his signature moves there, Sami Zayn. But again, struggling for energy. And Cesaro, clever, slides out the ring before Zayn could catch him. Cesaro front chancery now on Zayn. Using his strength once again, just twisting the arm, then a clubbing blow across the back, and now Cesaro locking in that sharp shooter, but Zayn very close to the ropes. Of course, Cesaro, long-time tag team partners with Tyson Kidd, uses that move quite a lot now to honour Tyson, who's out injured at the moment. Well, in real life he's out injured at the moment, and not for us, of course. He had that match against Hideo Itami. Had that match against Hideo Itami last night on Nitro for the right to face off against Neville for the television championship at this week's Fully Loaded pay-per-view. And Cesaro now lining up. Sami Zayn, this could be neutralizer time. Oh, but Zayn, great job there reversing it. Zayn's chest, he's taking a lot of chops in this match. His chest is a bit on the purple side. Cesaro reversing Zayn now. And a big chop across the chest. Cesaro needs to build upon the damage he's done here, but he seems to be taking his time. Clubbing blow across the back, and again Cesaro looks to be lining Zayn up. And this time it looks like he's going to get it. Hooks the arm. And there it is, the neutralizer. And surely that's going to be all. And this feud is going to go to one match apiece. 1, 2. Really? I was convinced that was going to be the lot then. How on earth has Sami Zayn kicked out of that? Well, that's just put a spanner in the works for Cesaro, hasn't it? Big boot to the gut there by Cesaro on Zayn. And now dropping the elbow into the inside of the knee. Bringing Zayn back up to his feet. What's Cesaro got planned now? Oh, but Zayn reverses whatever it was into a Russian leg sweep. And now dropping the elbow into the inside of the knee of Cesaro. Clever move there by Zayn, because of course that neutralizer takes a lot of core strength, and by weakening the leg that's going to really help him out. And there is a Swanton bomb. 1, 2. Oh, I thought that senton was going to be enough there for Zayn. What happened there? That was a bit glitchy, I think. Either that or Zayn may have just completely ripped Cesaro's shoulder out of the joint. Zayn rolling Cesaro over. And a drop kick to the side of the head. Talking of glitches, if you haven't seen last week's episode of Thunder yet, there was an incredible glitchy match for the championship. Blue Thunder Bomb. And he's done it. Zayn out of nowhere hits the Blue Thunder Bomb and picks up the victory. 2 weeks in a row now over Cesaro. That's a massive victory for Zayn. And Zayn offering out a handshake to Cesaro. And Cesaro's not having any of it. He's frustrated. 2 losses in 2 weeks for him. Could that be a heel turn there for Cesaro potentially against Sami Zayn? Let's have a look at the update of the feud. I think that'll come up straight away now, I think. And there it is, rising tension. Cesaro frustration is growing after losing to Sami Zayn. Of course, losing 2 weeks in a row now. Zayn has become more prideful, respectful and perseverant through that. And he's obviously got a momentum boost and a hot streak, so that's good for Zayn. Cesaro, on the other hand, has become more disrespectful, more prideful. But he has had a cold streak added now as well, so that's not going to be good for him. Yeah, Zayn really in dominance of this feud now, and I think potentially whoever wins this feud should probably go on and get themselves a shot at Owen Hart's television championship as well. But let's get into our main event here this evening. And here is that main event. John Cena taking on the Raw brand champion Roman Reigns. Now, should Cena win this, you'd have to fancy him as the #1 contender for the Raw Championship at the upcoming pay-per-view, of course, which is going to be Extreme Rules in a few weeks' time. Should Reigns win this one, then we're going to have to completely rethink what's going to happen. Like I said, I didn't actually book this match. The game decided that this was going to be the match, and I thought I'd leave it. I thought it'd be an interesting one. I know it's between 2 people that a lot of people might actually hate, but still, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top in this game. John Cena apparently not ready to wrestle again yet. I think he came back and had that little tiny stint at WrestleMania helping The Rock out, but by what I've heard, he's nowhere near ready yet, and he could still be out for another 2 or 3 months. He just had enough in the locker to come back and do that one little appearance. But we'll wait and see what happens. Wait and see what happens. I think now that Cesaro, I think it's actually been a good thing, because it's allowed people to, it's allowed a few of the other guys to really get an opportunity, especially now. We've got the likes of AJ Styles and but then again, I can't imagine that WWE would have risked having a feud between their 2, I'm doing this in air quotes, by the way, their 2 biggest names, that is air quotes. Because, of course, Reigns is the one they're trying to push as hard as possible. And Cena has always been their poster boy and always will be because he sells so much merchandise. But I think the stage is set now. It's perfectly set to have a big Reigns heel turn. And I think that's what's going to happen at the next pay-per-view Fastlane. That's what I think is going to happen. With AJ Styles becoming the #1 contender, I'm thinking that could happen. And maybe that could happen alongside the Usos turning heel as well, maybe. Maybe the Usos and Roman Reigns can all turn heel, and then the Roman Empire can finally become an actual stable as well. There's the Raw Champion Roman Reigns. Obviously, the Raw Championship is just essentially the normal WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt. A belt that I'm not overly keen on, to tell the truth, I must admit. But that's the old WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt, isn't it? That's the one before it, but I think that's the belt before they merged it. But Roman Reigns with the gold. Like I say, I don't know how long he's been able to keep it for on this roster. When you look through the names, of course, we've got Roman Reigns, the champion. We've got Daniel Bryan. We've got John Cena. We've got The Rock as well. That's 4 big names straight off the bat. And some potential big dangers to Roman Reigns. Of course, Andre the Giant and the Big Show as well, the current tag team champions. Both could get an opportunity. Who knows? Cesaro will definitely get a chance. Maybe even Sami Zayn can get a chance as well. I see Sami as more of a, and Cesaro really, as more of an upper mid-card championship guys, but at the same time, there's no reason why they can't go for this top championship. Of course, we've got Bret Hart on this roster as well, so another big name, and Edge and Christian as well, so Edge could get an opportunity. I'd like that. Maybe Edge versus Reigns in the Battle of the Spears. Got Ryback if we're just fancy a laugh, you know. Yeah, interested actually. There's a lot of different things we could do. Maybe we could get The Rock. Maybe The Rock can be kicked out of the Nation of Domination and replaced by Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, Farouk, Mark Henry, D'Lo Brown and Kamil Mustafa. I think The Rock versus Roman Reigns is definitely a feud we're going to have to do. So I think that's what I would like to do. I think should Reigns beat Cena here, then the only 2 big names that have not really had an opportunity as yet are going to be The Rock and Bret Hart. So maybe that could be the #1 contendership match next week. Should Cena defeat Roman Reigns, then I think that's just going to be what's going to happen at Extreme Rules. We'll have to go for that as a match. Cena with a shoulder block now. Continue the assault on Roman Reigns. And a little bit of chain wrestling here between these two. Roman Reigns launching Cena over the top rope. Cena holds on, but Reigns catches him with that forearm, and Cena drops down to the ground, and Reigns looks to go outside to continue the assault. Yeah, like I was saying, I think Reigns, the stage is set right now for him to have a massive heel turn, and I think that's just the wisest thing for WWE to do now, because it's getting worse and worse, and there's only so many times that JBL can go, this is a crazy crowd, they're booing who they like and they're cheering who they hate. So it's only so long that they can get away with just doing that every single episode of Raw and hoping that people are going to believe it. The boos are getting louder and louder and louder episode on episode, and I think if there's a massive heel turn, that's the ironic thing. I think if they turn Roman Reigns heel, he could end up actually getting over as a heel. I think that's going to be the case. He's going to have so much cheap heat as a heel. It's going to be fantastic. When he finally does turn back as a face, it could really work out well for them. And of course, they want to do their little John Cena versus Roman Reigns feud at some point. And I think obviously if Reigns goes as a mega heel and Cena comes back, that's the sort of thing they could do. Cena dropping a boot on the face of Roman Reigns now. Cena with a German suplex. And Cena is in control of this one. I think he is higher rated on this game. But Reigns in full control now, just layering the punches to the face of Roman Reigns. Or should I say to John Cena. Brings him back up to his feet, and Reigns gets caught with a jawbreaker by Cena. Now Cena taking Reigns up into a sit-out powerbomb. The strength of Cena to get a man the size of Reigns up to do that, it's incredible. Cena dropping an elbow across the chest of Reigns. Reigns back up and Cena looks to catch him, but Reigns gets there first with that front chancery and now into the gutbuster. Reigns pulling Cena into the middle of the ring, going in for the pin. 1, 2, and Cena kicks out. There wasn't a lot behind that kick out though. As Reigns locks in the heads, is trying to suck all the energy out of him. Reigns now just sending John Cena's shoulder first into the ring post. And brings him out into that sit-out powerbomb. All of a sudden, Reigns in control once again. There's the pin. Only a 1 count. Cena completely no-selling that. And Cena taking Reigns up onto his shoulders, but Reigns reverses. I think it's funny the way that 2K have set this game up, because obviously WWE are trying to push Reigns as the super face, and you can see when Reigns reversed Cena's finisher there, people were booing in the crowd, which is exactly what would happen in real life. See, I want to see this match in real life, and you might think I'm crazy, but I want to see this match in real life just to see the reaction of the crowd. They wouldn't know what to do with themselves. Who would they cheer in this situation? I think the crowd would go so mega Cena for the first time in so many years. They would really back Cena, and I think it would be interesting just to see these two guys in the same ring, just to see what the crowd reaction would be. Oh, big right hand by Roman Reigns. And of course, that's how he won the championship last week. That big swinging right hand just completely knocks Daniel Bryan out by the looks of it. Roman Reigns, the clothesline. He's not going to do this, surely. He's not going to go for it. Oh, Reigns dives and takes Cena out. Now, if there's one thing I do like, I'm not a Roman Reigns fan, but if there's one thing I do really like about Roman Reigns, it's that dive. A man of his size should not be diving over the top rope like that, and I'm really impressed by that. But apart from that, I'm not overly impressed. I think he's another one of these sort of guys that's just unfortunate by the situation. If WWE hadn't pushed him so hard for the last 9 months, it probably wouldn't be too bad, but I don't think it's his fault. Of course it's not his fault, it's the writing and the way they've done it, but I feel a little bit sorry for him at some points. Same with Cena. It's not necessarily Cena's fault the way that he's written and the way that his character's put across. He probably wants to do a heel turn as much as anyone else, but he doesn't get the opportunity. By all accounts, from what he said on the Stone Cold podcast the last year or so, he really wanted to do a heel turn during the Rock feud, but they wouldn't let him, WWE. Which is a shame, because I think it would have been a great time for him to turn. I think it's too late now for Cena. I don't think he'll ever turn heel. He's completely stuck here right now. I think he's trying to go for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but Roman Reigns is in the wrong place. Cena bringing Reigns into the middle of the ring. Oh, he's going to go for the sunset flip bomb. Again, Cena needs to capitalise on some of these moves he's doing. At the moment, he's just really taking his time. And there you go, giving Roman Reigns a chance to recoup. And there's that right hand taking Cena down. And now Reigns going to go in for a pin once again. And it's only a 2 count. Like I said, it's those right hands by Reigns. That's how he won the championship last week. And with some of these right hands, he could quite easily do it again. Reigns now rolling Cena over. Brings him back up, and a big knee to the face by Reigns on Cena. Reigns dropping another elbow to the inside of the knee of Cena and starting to try and take him apart here. Reigns now pulling Cena back into the middle of the ring and slamming him down arm first into the mat once again. Back up to his feet. And looking to slow the pace of the match down once again. You'd think both these guys would really want to go for the big finisher. Cena getting back up to his feet. Look on Reigns' face. He's stunned by what Cena's doing here. Oh, I thought Cena was going to go for it then, you know. But Cena now returning the favour and the locks in a reverse chin lock of his own. Yeah, these two guys get a little bit more... Well, the game said at the very beginning that that depending on who you put in the ring, the matches will be very, very different. And I think in this case, I think it's proved it. The match is completely slower to something. If you look at the match we had earlier on this evening between Daniel Bryan and Owen Hart, I don't think this match has quite been at that same sort of quality. But it's got a lot of importance, this one. Like I said, should John Cena win this, he'll get an opportunity to face against Roman Reigns at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view in 3 weeks' time. Cena now has Reigns. Up. And down into the backdrop. Big, big move. And Cena looks to be lining up our current Raw champion. Up on the shoulder he goes. And down to the mat he goes. Straight into the pin. And this could be it. 1, 2, and 3. And there you go. John Cena is surely now going to get that opportunity at Extreme Rules to face off against Roman Reigns for the Raw Championship. So, a very interesting finish. I was sort of expecting that, to tell us the truth. But yeah, we're going to have to really think about next week trying to line ourselves up a new #1 contender for the European Championship. That's definitely what we need to do. Maybe have a look at a tag team match as well. Maybe look at the tag team champions. And of course, have a look at trying to continue to maybe build Asuka up to see if she's got what it takes to face off against Becky Lynch. She has had a big victory this week against Nia Jax, so that's a big one for her. But maybe another win next week against the likes of maybe Tamina or Charlotte could really push her on to the next level. Like I said, we are also looking at potentially doing a trade with Nitro for Alexa Bliss. But we'll have to have a look and see what Nitro's got and what Raw wants, if that makes sense, to try and make sure the trade is beneficial on both sides. I think Nitro would probably need to give Raw another woman, because Raw at the moment only has 6 as well. So if they were to trade a woman out for a man, then they only have 5 women, which would make their women's roster a little bit weaker. But of course, there's also the opportunity to sign free agents into these rosters as well. And that's what we'll definitely be looking at pretty soon as well. So there you go, John Cena, the big victor here this evening. Now the #1 contender for that Raw Championship, and going to face off against Roman Reigns in a few weeks' time at our Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which is of course going to be shared with SmackDown. So I think that's about all we've got for this video, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then it would be absolutely fantastic if you could hit that like button. It does really help me out a lot. And of course, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe for a lot more of this universe mode. Of course, you can find in the description below a link to all of our 4 brands currently going in this universe mode. And if you want to click on the channel, there's a lot more 2K16 stuff on there going on, as well as other games as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for an episode of Thunder.